I'm Secret Man, and this is Mysterious Cases. We talk about murder. We talk about missing people. We talk about bodies buried beneath the silence. But tonight, there are no bodies. Only messages, thousands of them, typed in the dark by someone who didn't exist. In early 2025, Chinese cybercrime units received a tip from a man in Chengdu. He'd met a woman online. She was kind, shy, flirty. She sent voice notes, photos. He thought maybe this was real. Until the money started disappearing and the woman started fading. What he didn't know was that he wasn't alone. By the time police tracked the phone number and raided a small apartment in Nanjing, they found a single man, 38 years old, no job, no partner, no passport, just 6 smartphones, 2 laptops, a rotating SIM card system, and a detailed spreadsheet. It had names, dates, payment histories. 1,691 entries. He'd spent 3 years pretending to be a woman, on dating apps, in chat groups, through voice messages, some generated by AI. His story was always the same. A lonely girl, sick mother, no money for rent, no friends to ask. He didn't threaten. He didn't beg. He made them fall for her, gently. Then he let them give. Some men sent 100 yuan. Some sent 10,000. One man sold his laptop. By the time police cracked his full transaction history, the total damage was over 3 million yuan, nearly $500,000. And what did he say when they arrested him? I gave them something. Real, even if I wasn't. Inside the suspect's apartment, police found more than devices. They found scripts. He had crafted responses for nearly every emotional scenario. Sorry I didn't reply. My mom's in the hospital again. I wish I could video call, but my phone camera's broken. I've never met someone who gets me like you. He built emotional loops, moments of affection, followed by sudden distance. Then vulnerability, just enough to make them chase her, just enough to make them care, and then just enough to make them pay. He used a mixture of real female photos, edited images, and even AI-generated voices. In some cases, he used voice-changing software. In others, shockingly, he trained a free text-to-speech app to simulate casual, warm female tones. He sent voice notes saying things like, I miss you. Don't forget me. I'm scared of being alone. And the men on the other end, they listened. They fell in love. They never questioned who was really speaking. Why did he do it? When interrogated, he said, I didn't steal. They gave it to me. Lonely people want to believe. I just gave them something to believe in. But it wasn't about love. It wasn't even about money. This was about control, about being wanted, about being everyone's fantasy, while being no one at all. In the next episode, we meet the victims, the men who fell in love with a ghost, and the ones who lost far more than money. We often hear about the criminal, but rarely the ones left behind. In this case, there are over 1,000 victims, men from across China, different cities, backgrounds, and ages, and they all thought she was talking only to them. One man, 22 years old, transferred his entire monthly salary to help her pay rent. Another sold his phone, convinced he'd meet her that weekend. A married man from Hunan said, I knew it wasn't right, but she made me feel seen. These weren't fools. They weren't weak. They were lonely. In a country where millions of young men live without partners, where emotional connection is rare, and where love often begins and ends through a screen. He gave them what they wanted, just long enough to take what he needed. And when she vanished, they didn't know who to blame. Themselves? The internet? The girl who never existed? Some still send messages to a number that's now locked in police custody. They say things like, "I forgive you." Was any of it real? I just want to hear your voice one last time. In the final episode, we ask the hardest question of all. What does this case say about the way we love? When we don't know who we're loving? And is it still a scam? If it felt like love? Asterisk, the man at the center of this case, was charged with multiple counts of fraud. But his punishment? Less than 5 years in prison. Because under the law, what he stole was freely given. He didn't hack accounts. He didn't force anyone. He just pretended. And in doing so, he exposed a deeper truth. In a digital world, loneliness is currency, and intimacy can be fabricated. What's more dangerous than a liar? A lie that we choose to believe. And maybe that's why this case is so disturbing. Because deep down, we all want to be seen, to be heard, to be wanted, even if it's not real. This wasn't just a scam. It was a mirror. And for 1,691 people, what they saw in that mirror was enough to break them. I'm Secret Man. And this was the woman who wasn't there.